3 teams in the NFC West 3-4. One team's 4-3. There are 0 dominant teams in the NFC West. The division is waiting, begging for some team to assert itself. And when it does, it seems like it could be dominant for the next few years. And it seems like the quarterback position is going to be at the crux of this transition. How do you see this one going?
So I don't see Matthews staying around for more than 2 or 3 years, correct? Maybe another year, maybe 2.
Another year, yeah.
So what are the odds of the Rams getting a franchise quarterback?
They got Jimmy.
So I just from a probability standpoint, take the Rams off. They've won a Super Bowl. They're going to be in a little bit of a flex. They're going to find, if even if McVay stays, he may retire when the minute that Stafford retires, because I think he got his Super Bowl. He got his money. He's good. He's not a lifer like I think Shanahan will be. You know what I mean? So I think he doesn't do it for, he's not in it to stay around until he's like 60 or 70 like some other coaches are. I think McVay has got other things that he can do in his life. And
it seemed like he almost went to the announcer booth a couple of years ago. Right? Thought about it. Yeah.
If they didn't give Stafford, I think they would have gone.
I think so.
Gone.
Yeah.
So the other, do we think Geno Smith can be that for the next 10 years? Honestly.
No, I know he did well last week, and he has all these good games where I don't watch, but whenever I'm watching, he sucks.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. So bring it back full circle. I would say in the huddle, let's make Geno beat me, because Geno's going to make some plays, but he's going to throw it to the cornerback as well, right? Yeah. And so I would make Geno beat me, and that's not a franchise quarterback.
No,
right?
No, absolutely not. So franchise quarterback is we're playing too high. If you want to run the ball, great. Those are just plays where your quarterback isn't throwing. So go ahead.
Correct.
You want to run your offense through Edgerrin James today? Great. We don't have to worry about Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Peyton Manning. Like, go ahead, please. But that's not how anyone's going to approach the Niners or the Seahawks.
No.
And that's what's crazy about the Niners. It's like they lose Christian McCaffrey, and the game plan still is we got to stop Jordan Mason. It's like, damn.
Correct.
Damn.
So Rams gone, Seahawks gone. There's 2 teams left. It's Kyler in Arizona. Do you think he can be that for the next 10 years? He has a wide receiver that's a generational talent.
Is he? I don't know about Marvin Harrison Jr. I like Marvin Harrison Sr. a lot better. I don't know about Kyler, man. He makes some great plays. He's a playmaker, but like from the pocket, can he see anything? I don't know. I'm not sure he's actually seeing anything.
If you have time, which you probably don't, YouTube how many times Harrison Jr. is wide open and Kyler doesn't even see him.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't see anything.
He doesn't see him at all.
I don't know about Kyler.
There's no one even near him. He's like waving, no one, and multiple times.
That's not good.
Multiple times.
Yeah, it's not good.
So we got 3 quarterbacks currently that we don't say are it. They're not going to be the franchise 10 years. I agree with you. That leaves Brock.
Yeah.
Can Brock do it for 10 years? What does Brock need? What does Brock need to be that?
What does Brock need? He needs
because the teams
the best. He needs the offensive player in the league, the offensive player of the year at running back.
So he needs a running back that is comparable to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, like some guy who could be the best running back in the league, and a guy who could maybe play slot receiver too, and has Hall of Fame talent when healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wide receivers. Here's the other thing. I think he needs to go back to what they were doing last year and have wide receivers that can take a 5-yard in cut and turn into a 30-yard gain. Like they need yak wide receivers again, because I think what they're doing now isn't sustainable with his arm.
I would disagree. To me, I think they need more guys like Jennings who are big and can make contested catches, because I don't think they're going to be getting many more yak opportunities. I think this is the new reality for them, what they have to face. Small windows, tight windows. And I think that's why you saw Jennings kind of step up, because they need someone with that type of skill set to throw to. 6'3", making catch. I mean, he had guys like that in college too. Akeem Butler. He liked guys like that. He's successful with Kittle. Big guys.
Yes, big guys. Okay,
or little ones like 5'7" Cowing. I don't know.
So to me, the next couple of years are going to be so important because they arguably have a leg up on the rest of the teams. Two of the teams, their quarterbacks are on the older end and are going to be retiring. One's going to be retiring relatively soon. I can't see Geno in the league for more than 5 years. Can you?
No.
And Kyler's young, but once he loses that athletic ability to run at that size,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that size being short. He's not a big guy.
No. He doesn't take contact. No. Lamar does. No.
Right. Yeah, but Lamar's a lot bigger than him.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
So to me, again, it goes back to that conversation. They need to draft. They need to either say, hey, we're going all in with Brock and draft around his, strengths, because right now they're operating around the strengths of Kyle Shanahan, and that's got to change.
One thing, though, where the Niners could lose the division for the future, let's say they give Brock Purdy all the money, and he's not worth it. And one of those other three teams drafts a quarterback who happens to be good. Then the Niners are screwed.
That's the risk. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what happened. I mean, they got a third-round pick in Russell Wilson, who made our life a living hell for 10 years. Right? For 10-plus years. And
all of a sudden, Seattle or the Rams could be that team where they're stacked and they're not paying their quarterback. Where the Niners are that's what they used to be. It's what they are now. But they won't be that in a few years.
It's a full circle. So the teams that get it right are the ones that this is our quarterback and we're going to build around him and we're going to build around his limitations. And the team that really did that well, that they probably should model, and I know that people are going to laugh, but it was the Saints with Drew Brees and Sean Payton. And I think that's what they decided to cater the whole offense around Drew and his expertise, and they were in contention for a decade until he left.
Yep. But they didn't win. Except for 09.
They did. Yeah, they won. They won one. They got one.
They won one. They won one. Against what? Was that?
Peyton.
They beat Peyton. True. Free Lil Durk. I have no feelings about Lil Durk. Ruiz says Rams have a young team and would trade for a quarterback. They might.
They have.
They might. Denial says Def feels like Harbaugh 8-8 season. It's important to remember that team was 7-4. But the backbreaker was Seattle. Is this Kansas City a backbreaker? Like, are the Niners going to go lay an egg against the Cowboys? It's possible. I don't necessarily expect it, but if they do, we know this team is broken. It's a good test.
If they don't beat the team that they usually curb stomp, it's going to be an issue.
It's a broken team.
It's a broken team.
And then you got to look again. The Yorks have to look at Kyle like, what's your excuse? Oh, you didn't have McCaffrey. This is what happens when you don't have McCaffrey. Well, are we going to have McCaffrey for the next 5 years? Like, what is your plan post McCaffrey? Put it all on Brock? Well, that's what you're doing now, and it's not working. So,
and I think you brought it up. There's just this weird dynamic, and I also feel like it's time for Kyle to get rid of his veteran players that have been there with him because he's kind of losing that edge. He needs to bring a new young core with Brock because I feel like the players that are playing really hard and playing hurt and playing are the young guys.
Yep.
The young guys who don't have a contract.
All I know is with the older guys, it's like there's always an ailment they have for practice. It's like, oh, Nick Bosa's elbow hurts. He can't practice today. Turns out he's had the injury for a month. He's got a wrap on it. It's like, okay, I'm not saying he doesn't, but it's like elbow can't help. But it's like these other guys practicing no matter what. Find a way to get it done. I don't know.
Don't you think that has if your quarterback is a timing quarterback, wouldn't you want the receivers that he's going to throw to during a game to be there during practice?
I would want that. Kirabel Tedeschi says, should the Niners convert CMC to slot wide receiver wide back to conserve his health? Yeah, I'm sure he'll go for that.
Don't lie. I mean, that would be a smart decision on his part.
I feel like his receiving ability is a little overstated. Like, people are scared of him, and he's a great check down option. He can run those little choice routes. But I was watching highlights of the 1994 of Steve Young. I don't know why. I typed in Steve Young 1994, my favorite player, favorite season. And there's highlights of him throwing deep touchdown passes up the seam to Ricky Waters. They never call plays like that for Christian McCaffrey.
They call one play against Philadelphia where he did that choice route and he went up against that linebacker. That's the only time. I mean, they could.
They could. I'd like to see him do it.